Hi, I'm Aaron, and in today's video, I'm going to be doing a complete handover of the 2024 Mustang GT. The car I'm going to be showing in the video is a Mustang GT automatic in shadow black with no options. It is best to watch the entire video to learn every single feature that we have to show you here today. If you do want to skip ahead or go back and re-watch the video on a certain part, we have cut this up into sections and tagged them all below as well. Moving to the key fob that comes with the car, every brand new Mustang will come with a pair of keys. In the top, you have the unlock button. The center circle is the lock button. Down the very bottom, double press will open the boot. Down the bottom, like the Ranger key fobs, will have a little button to press to pull out the physical key. The one button on the key fob I didn't mention, which is fitted to all automatic vehicles, is the remote start. To use this button, simply click the lock button and then double press the remote start button twice. In the boot, there's not a whole lot you haven't seen before. You have your subwoofer as part of the B&O sound system, as well under the false floor is your run flat kit. Here we have a close-up of the run flat kit. I'm going to cut to a video off of our Mustang Mach-E handover video and let Costa explain you how to use this.
The run flat kit has got two different sections. Section A is for sealing a puncture, and section B is for reinflating the tire. Each section is connected the same way, so you use this connector to plug in to either the B or the A, depending on which part of the kit you want to use. A will use the contents of this cylinder to seal the tire from the inside. Once it's sealed, you'll then connect to the B section, which will pump compressed air into the tire and reinflate it. The resealant container is a use once only, so once you've used it, you'd have to get it back to your dealer and get a new canister in case of another puncture.
On the passenger side of the vehicle, you will see the fuel cap. This is locked with the vehicle. Once the vehicle is unlocked, press on the fuel cap to pop it open. Inside, you will see the standard easy fuel that you see on a lot of the petrol Fords. Simply poke the Bowser through the center hole to then fill your vehicle. Cap, the Mustang is E10 compatible. It does say in the owner's manual to use 95 minimum octane fuel. On the rear of the car, you can see it's fitted with a reverse camera. This camera does not come with a washer, so make sure you do keep this clean if you want to be able to see it in reverse. The bonnet release is a single pull action inside the passenger footwell. Once the bonnet is popped open, you'll have to feel for the lever in the middle of the car. It is also fitted with gas struts, so it will easily open and stay safe. You'll be having your Mustang service at an accredited service center. There are a few things you might want to watch out for under the bonnet, and I'll go through those now. Located on the right-hand side under a blue cap is your washer fluid. Simply pop it open and refill when necessary. Against the driver's firewall, you will see the brake fluid reservoir. With any luck, you will never have to touch this or fill it up. Your mechanics will check this at your scheduled servicing. On the passenger side, you will see the coolant reservoir. This is a sealed radiator unit, so this is where you top it up and fill it up from. Again, your mechanics will check the levels and make sure the coolant is up to spec at your service. Moving to the passenger seat, you will see the control for the forward and backwards movement are electric, also the up and down. To tilt the seat is a pull handle on the side of the seat here. There is also a pull handle on the back of the seat for anyone who is in the rear. You also see that you have a little clip here that you can put the seatbelt through so it doesn't fall too far behind the seat, so whoever's in the passenger seat can easily reach their seatbelt. On the passenger side, the glove box is lockable. To lock it, simply pull out the key from the key fob, put it inside the lock and turn. Now that the owner's manual has gone digital, all you'll get in the glove box is the Mustang pouch. Inside this pouch, you'll see the owner's manual, a supplemental guide. This is just a brief overview. Most of this can be found on the screen of the Mustang, and also your service portfolio where your service center will stamp and write whatever services that have been done to the car. Looking at the driver's seats, you have all your seat controls on the right-hand side. You have your forward and back, as well as your up and down, completely electric on this one lever. Your lumbar support is electric as well. The tilt for the backrest will be on the grab handle on the right-hand side. Pull up and then simply get it to where you need it, let go, and it will lock into place. On the right hand side, you have all your window and mirror controls. To adjust your mirrors, select which mirror you're after, left and right, then use the arrows to do the up, down, left and right. If you need to fold the mirrors in at any point, you can press the button when the car started to fold the mirrors in. And then you've got the passenger and driver window as well, which are automatic. On the right hand side of the steering wheel, you'll see some extra buttons. On the left hand side here will be the boot release button. This is not an electric boot, will just pop it open. You will have to manually close and then pull the boot up as well. The center dial here turns to adjust all your different headlights. The A is your automatic headlights, so at night the headlights will automatically come on and your daytime running lights will be on during the day. The button in the middle is your front fog lights, and then you've got your dash illumination bright and dim on the right hand side here as well. Up above the driver in the center, you will have your standard sunglass holder, as well as your controls to your lights for your interior as well. Moving to the handbrake in the middle, although this might look like a traditional handbrake, it is actually fully electric. To disengage the handbrake, you have to have your foot on the foot brake, push down on the handbrake like you would with any other electric handbrake, and simply pull up to engage the handbrake. This can also be used as the drift brake in the drifting mode on the track, but I'll explain that later in the video. The handbrake will always return to a neutral spot if you pull it up and put it back down, or if you push it down to disengage, the handbrake will never stay up like a traditional handbrake. The shifter and the 10-speed automatic is a mechanical shifter. You may think because this is the next generation, they would have gone to an electronic shifter. They have kept the normal mechanical shifter from previous generations of Mustang. This is the automatic 10-speed transmission as mentioned. At the top you have park, one down will be your reverse, which will activate the reverse camera. You then will have neutral, drive, so drive obviously forward the 10 speed, and then your manual mode, which will allow you to use the paddles behind the steering wheel to change gears as you please on the track or on that nice Sunday drive. If you turn the car off with the car not in park, you will get a warning on the dash telling you to put the car back into park, unlike some Fords which have the electric shifter that will automatically go back. This Mustang will not have that feature. Above your gear shifter, you will see a USB A and C connection. These will be able to connect your phone with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, as well as charge your phone. Below the USB points, if your car is fitted with the wireless charger, you will have this fitted here. You'll know it's the wireless charger with its bumpy texture. There's also a logo in the middle of a battery icon with a lightning bolt. Moving to the center of the dash, you have a row of buttons with various features. Starting from left to right, you have your auto start stop. This will allow the engine to turn off when you come to a complete stop. Once you release the brake, the engine will turn back on when you go to take off. This will save a little bit of fuel and obviously will save some CO2 emissions for the environment as well. You will have to turn this off every time you get in the car, as it will always come back on when you start the car back up. If you do turn this feature off, the engine will just stay on idle when you come to a complete stop or a red light and will never turn off. Next is the little pony icon, which is your My Mustang mode. Once this button is pressed, you can go into all your gauges, your track apps, and your cluster/color theme, as well as your exhaust modes as well. Next to that is your traction control button to turn off and on. It will be off by default when you go into certain drive modes such as sport or track. This may also automatically turn off, so be careful if you are using those other drive modes. Next to that is your standard hazard light button. Next to this one, the star can be set as a favorite for your favorite feature. We have this set to turn the race exhaust mode on as well, but it can be programmed for various features. And then you've got the max demister for the front window as well. Next to that, you have your volume control as well as your on and off for the radio. And on the far left, the bright red button is your engine start stop. At the very bottom of the screen, you'll always see your heater controls as well as your heated and ventilated seat controls. So the far left will be the passenger heating and cooling seat, as well as their air for hot and cold. It is a dual zone climate control. You have your AC button, your max demister button, again like you saw below, as well as a button to select where you want the air to be coming from. This is also how you select it back to dual zone climate control. Once you've got the air selected, you also have your fan buttons on the screen here as well as the heating and cooling for the driver's side of the vehicle as well, and then the driver's heating and cooling seats. So the car has to be on for you to activate the heated steering wheel. You will know it's on when the little red icon below it turns on. The heated steering wheel will only have one setting. It's either on or off. Moving to the center screen, you can see that we're at the home screen. You have in the left-hand third a map icon, as well as what radio station or music you are playing, and your Connect phone function here as well. Down the right-hand side, you will have all your settings, features, and all the apps that you can connect to the car. So if you click on the settings icon, it will bring you up to this screen. On the far left, you can still see what music you're playing. You can scroll through and see different settings, such as fuel economy, trip computer, your phone, as well as your navigation for your Ford built-in sat nav here. Next to that, on the right-hand side, you'll have buttons for your radio, your phone list for multiple phones connected to the vehicle, your navigation settings as well as your sound settings for the B&O sound system. Below that, you'll see all your vehicle settings. From here, you can turn on the max idle or turn that on and off to 30 minutes. The rear occupant alert if you do have kids or baby seats in the back. The key detection alert. For the Mustang owners that leave early in the morning and they daily drive their Mustang or are leaving for a car show on those cold Saturday mornings, you can set up your quiet start in here as well as the time. So this will allow the vehicle to start in its quietest mode, so not to wake up neighbors or kids. I don't know what to say that. You've also got all your alarm settings, as well as all your different chimes and your remote startup through the Ford Pass Connect app. In here, you can change the duration up to 15 minutes, as well as change the climate control, seats and steering wheel up to the auto or last setting. Below that is all your basic car controls with your windows, wipers, and your lighting, as well as your mirrors. Below that is all your general settings for your windows, wipers, locks, and mirrors. Down the very bottom is where you'll be able to set your oil life and your tire pressure as well. If you ever have to pump up your tires or change tires, you can reset your tire pressure monitoring from here as well. Next to all this, you'll see your general car settings. In here, you can change the units of measurement. You can change to the miles per hour if you want to as well. There's also other settings to do with touchscreen and the software and licensing updates as well. The instrument cluster button will let you choose different screens to come up on your dash. From here, you can do all your different trip computers and your auto stop start and your tire pressures. This will all come up on the screen, and I'll go through that when we go through the screen. Swiping right, you can see you have all these settings for your center display. So this is where you'll see your calm screen for drivers that like to use that, as well as your brightness settings. You also see your Ford Assistant. From here, you can listen for a wake word for the car. This will allow you to tell the car to navigate home or call one of your colleagues or friends through the phone as well, completely hands-free. And you also see your emergency assistance and all your connectivity at the back here as well. Below the settings, you will have features. In the features, all your driver assistance will be on in here. So your adaptive cruise control, intelligent speed limiter, all your braking and lane keep assists will all be on here as well. You can turn on and off all these blind spot monitoring, all the traffic alerts as well. If any of these you want some bit more information on, if you just press the little eye on the right hand side, it will pop up with a little bit of information and explaining what the setting is. At the top of this setting, you'll see the auto hold. There is no hard button for this in the dash or on the center console. This will allow you to take your foot off the brake at a complete stop, and the car will not roll until you touch the accelerator. Moving into My Mustang, this was the button I mentioned on the dash before. This is also on the screen. So this will bring you to your settings menu for your track apps, all your different gauges, all your different modes, colors and themes, as well as all the exhaust modes as well. So on the left hand side, you'll have all your track apps, your acceleration timer, your brake performance and lap timer. From here, you can also activate the drift brake. As mentioned before, the handbrake will also act as a drift brake for the track. You can also see your line lock here. The car does have to be turned on for this to activate. Again, these are for track use only. Under track apps, you'll have your auxiliary gauges. Under the track apps, you will see your auxiliary gauges. These are for the customers that want to keep track of all the different oil and temperatures and pressures inside the car, as well as G-forces whilst cornering around tracks and the acceleration. Below the auxiliary gauges is your custom mode. From here, you can change different profiles for driving. So you can set different settings to sport, race, or regular mode, as well as turn your traction control on and off. This will be saved in the different drive modes selectable on the steering wheel when you start the car. Below the custom mode is My Color. From here, this is where you can select the different colors that will show up on the dash and the gauges as well. You got a primary and a secondary, as well as the ambient lighting as well. This is a fan favorite of the Mustangs previous, where you can customize the Mustang to your liking and have it different from the rest. Below that is the cluster theme. From default, it will match your drive mode. So as you go to sport, track, and race modes, the dash and the gauges will change. If you do like one of the gauges and you want to have the sport gauge always come up no matter what drive mode you're on, you can select that. Scrolling down, you can see at the very bottom, you also have a classic gauge, a Fox body 87 gauge, as well as the gauge from the 99-01 SVT Cobra. On the right hand side of the My Mustang mode is where you can do all your selectable exhaust modes. From default, your car will start in the normal mode unless you do have that quiet start on. You then have sport and the racetrack mode as well, and also that quiet start mode. So if you do want to turn it down when you're going to a shopping center, you can turn it down from there also. A lot of people will ask if there is a physical auto hold button inside the car. If you go to your edit favorites, you can have that star icon from before activate your auto hold button, but as well, it will also activate calm screen or change the exhaust mode to your preferred exhaust style. The bottom apps icon is where you'll see the Apple CarPlay and Android Auto apps as well. To connect your phone with Apple CarPlay wirelessly, I'm going to show you that now. So on the main screen, if you click on Connect Phone, Add Phone.
Search for your vehicle on your device and select it once it is found.
It will show up in your Bluetooth settings on your phone. I'm on Apple, but this will be the same for
Confirm
Samsung.
that the pin displayed.
Once you confirms that the pin on the screen and your phone is the same, just keep pair and yes on the screen. Allow it to sync to contacts.
For your safety, please stay alert to changing road conditions and use Sync's voice-activated features while your vehicle is in motion.
And then click Connect to Apple CarPlay. And then on the screen on the car, you'll have to click Enable. And then it will do the process wirelessly for you. From here, your Apple CarPlay music, whether it's Spotify, Apple Music, or any other music app, will come up on the left-hand side. Again, you can scroll through this little third and still go through all those different trip computers if you want as well. Your Spotify, as well as your Apple Maps, Google Maps will come up. All your phone calls and everything will come up here as well, completely hands-free. So now you can make phone calls, reply to text messages using whatever your phone assistant might be. That way you can be, again, completely hands-free. And if you click the icon down in the bottom right, it will go between the home screen and the different apps. From here, you can swipe through and use any of these apps wirelessly paired with your Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. This again will allow you to make phone calls and send messages completely hands-free.
Awesome.
And then, if you want to make any of these apps full screen, there is a button in the right-hand corner that will then make it use the entire size of the screen. Moving to the steering wheel, on the left-hand side, you will have all your cruise control buttons, as well as the adaptive cruise control for setting how close you are to the car in front, the plus and minus to set the speeds as you go, as well as the lane keep assist. Next to those, the silver buttons up and down will go through all your different selectable drive modes, and that's where you can go to that custom mode from before, as well as your drag strip, track, sport modes, and back to your normal driving mode. On the right hand side of the steering wheel, you will see the controls to go through all the different trip computers and the dash settings as well. The up and down for your volume controls, as well as your steering controls to go to sport or comfort. The top left hand button, if pressed, will activate the Ford assistant, so you can navigate to home or send a message. If you press and hold this button down, it will activate whatever assistant you have on your phone, such as your Google Assistant or Siri. The adjustment for the steering wheel is on the bottom left. It is a manual adjustment. Pull the lever down. From there, you can go up or down with the steering wheel, as well as telescope with it. Also, once you have it in a position that's going to work for you, push the lever all the way back up, make sure it clips in, and then you're good to go. Moving to the dash, we have the car in the normal driving mode. So this is the normal everyday use dashboard. On the far left, you will see the engine temperature as well as your light controls if they are on or off. The rev gauge on the far left, as well as the adaptive cruise control and lane keep assist down the bottom. Moving to the middle of the dash is where you can have all your selectable gauges. The default will be the trip computer. With the buttons on the steering wheel, you can go up and down to go through all the different computers. Your fuel economy, tire pressures, everything will come up here. You can customize this to your liking in the settings and have anything that you want to sort of come up here, as well as the driver assistance. To reset any of these, you click the OK button on the right hand side of the steering wheel, hold it down for 3 seconds and it will reset any of these sort of computers. Moving to the right side, you'll have your speedometer. This will obviously go up and down with your speed. You can have the road sign also come up here. When it reads a road sign, it will change what that says. Your cruise control will also come up on this side once you've set it, and you can have this set to match the road sign also. On the right hand side of that is your fuel gauge with your distance to empty. Again, these colors can be customized in those settings menus from before. This is how the dash will change with all your different drive modes with the steering wheel. So if you go to sport, it will go to a bit more of a sporty look and change how the gauges and the cluster looks. You also can change it for track and drag strip also. And now the drag strip. You can have quite a lot of fun readjusting all the different themes and the colors to suit your taste. If you are a Mustang GT owner, make sure you save the video so you can come back and relearn all the little tricks and tips that we have to offer. Thanks for watching our video, and don't forget to like and subscribe.